we saw you taking the charge here in this game.
Two charges.
Two charges in this game. Well, one that counted and another one. But how can this be the defense that we see night in and night out?
It's great, man. We hold them under the 100. They have great players. They just scored 142 against Denver. So today, the defense was amazing. Everybody was locked in. And obviously Smart, man. Smart has been so great this season for us.
The Los Angeles Lakers just defeated the New York Knicks again without LeBron James, and a statistic shown on ESPN has intensified the discussion around the team's direction. The Lakers are now reportedly 9-2 in games he has missed. That record, combined with improved defensive energy and the offensive rhythm seen from Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves when they run the offense together, has led some analysts to question whether the team's future might eventually shift away from LeBron. While others point out that the sample size is small and that LeBron's experience, leadership, and overall impact still carry major value, the numbers being shown publicly have sparked a serious conversation about roles, roster construction, and what the next chapter for the Lakers could look like after this season.
Shot clock to 10. Doncic has the ball in his hands now. Finds Kennard. Drives baseline. It's Hachimura. Now Doncic. Long three. It's gone.
The Los Angeles Lakers defeated the New York Knicks while LeBron James missed his second straight game with an elbow injury, and the result was one of the most complete team performances the Lakers have produced all season. Luka Doncic led the way with 35 points and even drew 2 charges on defense, showing a level of defensive engagement that stood out during the game. Austin Reeves added 25 points and 5 assists, looking far more aggressive and comfortable running the offense. Meanwhile, Marcus Smart struggled from the field at 1-for-10 shooting, but still made a strong impact through his defensive assignments and intensity, helping anchor the kind of team defense that allowed the Lakers to control the game.
Improved to 9-2 this season in games played by Luka and Austin Reeves without LeBron James. By contrast, the Lakers are just 11-7 with all 3 stars in the lineup. I mean, those two know how to step up.
The New York Knicks entered the matchup averaging around 117 points per game, yet the Los Angeles Lakers held them to just 97 points in a strong defensive performance. This was the same Knicks team that had recently exploded for 142 points against the Denver Nuggets, which made the defensive result stand out even more. Analysts on ESPN acknowledged the significance of the performance and openly discussed what might have contributed to the Lakers looking more organized and effective on that end of the floor during the game.
Doncic and Austin Reeves gave the Knicks all they could handle. Let's get you to the recap of this one. All right, Luka ready to go. LeBron missing his second straight game with that elbow injury. We pick it up in the third here, guys. Just Luka doing Luka things.
Very few guys could make anywhere close to that kind of shot. And Luka, I don't want to say makes it look easy, but it makes it look like a lot easier than anybody else.
That's like a fall away Dirk Nowitzki shot that usually was from the elbow, but that's from out by the baseline now.
Then ESPN put a statistic on the screen that has been hovering over discussions about the Los Angeles Lakers all season. When Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves both play while LeBron James is out, the team reportedly holds a 9-2 record. When all 3 share the floor regularly, the record sits closer to 11-7. Those numbers immediately spark conversation among analysts because they suggest a noticeable difference in results depending on lineup combinations. While some commentators argue that the sample size is finally becoming large enough to draw attention, others still caution that win-loss records alone don't capture everything about rotations, matchups, injuries, and game context. Still, the stat has pushed the discussion about roles and lineup balance for the Lakers further into the spotlight.
I think their defense last night was really impressive in the sense that this is a team that we always question their defense, right? The Knicks are averaging 117 points a game. They held them to 97 in this one. And you saw Luka take that charge. You see Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's always doing that. But for Luka to be taking charges, for DeAndre Ayton to be flying around the ball, I thought they played, Austin Reeves used this word after the game in his post-game interview. He said, playing a little grimier defense. We don't see that from LA, but we saw that at points last year. They actually had a top 5 defense for part of the second half of last season. And if they can just get that back in doses, even if it's a game here or a game there against good teams like the Knicks, they have something.
One of the analysts on the ESPN panel addressed the situation directly, saying it's clear that Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves play extremely well together, giving the Los Angeles Lakers a cleaner offensive structure with one primary ball handler, strong chemistry, and a more defined identity on both ends of the court. The analyst went further, suggesting that based on the direction the team appears to be moving, he would not be surprised if LeBron James is no longer with the Lakers next season. Whether that happens through retirement or free agency remains uncertain, but the point being discussed was that the way the team performs in games without him could offer a glimpse into what the franchise might look like in its next phase.
I mean, they have something, but I think we should go back to that stat that we showed on the screen when they're 9-2 in games when Luka and Austin play and LeBron doesn't. And that's not some indictment of LeBron James, or is it an indictment of Austin Reeves or Luka Doncic that when any two of those three guys have been on the court, they have struggled this season. But the fact is, when you have three guys out there who are, at this point, I think it's fair to say, minus defenders, it is going to be very hard to build the kind of defense that we're talking about, Ramona. Like you just said, they had in that game yesterday. And that is something the Lakers are going to have to figure out over the final couple months of the season. The stats do not lie. When those three guys play together, they're negative on the season. And when it's any two of them together, the numbers go up quite a bit. So it is going to be a big challenge for J.J. Redick to get the defense to be in a good enough place.
That comment carried weight because it came from analysts on ESPN discussing the direction of the Los Angeles Lakers. On air, the conversation shifted toward the franchise's long-term outlook, with some suggesting that this stretch of games without LeBron James could give the front office a clearer look at how the team functions around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves as primary pieces. The idea being discussed was that executives, particularly general manager Rob Pelinka, can use these games to evaluate roster needs and future lineup construction based on what works best for that core. In other words, the focus of the analysis wasn't just about short-term wins, but about what kind of supporting cast and system might best fit the players expected to lead the team moving forward.
Those of you that mocked me a month ago when I came out and I told you that LeBron James is at best the third option for this team offensively, behind Luka Doncic at number 1 and Austin Reeves at number 2, you mocked me. But now here we are, almost a month into the season. The Lakers are 7-2, playing really good team basketball. And LeBron James has yet to play a minute. If LeBron comes back into the mix, he screws it all up. The Lakers have now figured out what a lot of you don't want to admit, but when you look in the mirror, when your wife tucks you into bed at night and gives you a kiss, mwah, and says, don't let the bed bugs bite, you have to know in your heart of hearts that the Lakers are a better basketball team without LeBron James. So when LeBron tells them, oh, J.J. Redick, I'm ready to come back, you know what the answer should be? Not yet. Not yet. He's basically holding out. And the problem with holding out is that it can backfire on you.
Now the discussion turns to why those numbers might look the way they do. The reported 9-2 record for the Los Angeles Lakers in games where Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves play without LeBron James has led analysts to examine how the roster functions with different roles and responsibilities. When Doncic is clearly the primary creator and Reeves operates as a secondary playmaker and scorer, the offense can appear more streamlined with defined ball handling duties and spacing. At the same time, when all three stars share the court, the challenge sometimes becomes balancing touches, pace, and playmaking responsibilities. That doesn't necessarily mean one player is the problem, but it highlights how lineup fit, offensive flow, and role clarity can significantly affect how efficiently a team performs on the floor.
Whether LeBron James retires or goes into free agency, I don't expect him to be a Laker next season. And so to me, I think this is Rob Pelinka's chance when he doesn't play to kind of like look at this team, evaluate the team, and kind of see what Luka and AR need for the future. But it's obvious that they play great together. There's only one ball handler. They have great camaraderie, and to me, this is the future Laker team.
When LeBron James is on the floor with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, the Los Angeles Lakers sometimes face defensive challenges because all three players are often viewed as below-average defenders at this stage of their careers. Having multiple players in the same lineup who struggle defensively can make it harder for any system to hold up against strong offenses, since defensive schemes ultimately depend on consistent individual execution. When one of those players is absent, the lineup balance can shift, allowing others to take on clearer defensive responsibilities. Against the New York Knicks, Doncic even drew 2 charges, an effort play analysts noted because it reflects defensive engagement. Commentators have compared that type of development to the early years of Stephen Curry alongside Klay Thompson on the Golden State Warriors, when Curry was not considered a strong defender but gradually improved as the team system and accountability grew around him. The argument some analysts make is that Luka Doncic doesn't necessarily need to become an elite defender. He simply needs to avoid being a liability and continue improving his effort on that end. In the win over the New York Knicks, his hustle plays like drawing charges and making rotations were pointed out as signs of that progress. After the game, Austin Reeves described the Los Angeles Lakers defense with a specific word, grittier. He wasn't saying the scheme had changed dramatically, but that the team was playing with more effort and competitiveness. Analysts noted that defensive intensity often comes down to tone and accountability within a lineup. However, during the discussion on ESPN, Ramona Shelban also added important context, pointing out that some of the wins in the Lakers' 9-2 stretch without LeBron James came against weaker opponents, suggesting the record alone shouldn't be the only factor used to evaluate the team's overall performance. That observation adds important context to the discussion. A 9-2 stretch is impressive, but the level of competition always matters when evaluating results. The win over the New York Knicks stands out because they have been one of the stronger offensive teams in the league, and the Los Angeles Lakers, holding them to just 97 points, required a full defensive effort. Players across the roster contributed to that performance. Luka Doncic drawing charges and staying active defensively, Marcus Smart setting a tone with his defensive intensity, and DeAndre Ayton protecting the paint and staying active around the ball. The rotations were sharper, the communication looked stronger, and the group appeared more connected on that end of the floor. The bigger question analysts often raise is about identity. Teams typically perform best when roles and responsibilities are clearly defined.